Welcome to Healthy Living. I'm your host, Lindiwe. Today we're exploring aspartame, one of the most studied yet controversial food additives in our modern diet. Before we begin, I want to thank our producer, Larry Allen, for putting this episode together. Larry, your research team really outdid themselves gathering the latest studies for us. Aspartame has been on our grocery shelves since 1981, and I'd bet many of you listening right now have something containing it in your kitchen or office. So, what exactly is this substance that's about 200 times sweeter than sugar? At its core, aspartame is made from two amino acids, aspartic acid and phenylalanine, plus a small amount of methanol. You'll find it in thousands of products: diet sodas, sugar-free gums, yogurts, and virtually anything labeled sugar-free or diet. Let's tackle the headline that got many of you writing in with questions. In July 2023, the International Agency for Research on Cancer classified aspartame as possibly carcinogenic to humans. That sounds alarming, but context matters here. This Group 2B classification indicates limited evidence in humans and less than sufficient evidence in experimental animals. Interestingly, on the same day as this announcement, the joint FAO-WHO Expert Committee on Food Additives reaffirmed aspartame's safety at current consumption levels. They maintained the acceptable daily intake at 40 milligrams per kg of body weight. For perspective, an average adult would need to consume about 12 to 36 cans of diet soda daily to reach that limit. But many of you have written in reporting headaches, dizziness, digestive problems, and mood changes after consuming aspartame. While controlled studies haven't consistently demonstrated these effects, a 2017 systematic review in nutritional neuroscience found no clear evidence that aspartame reliably produces headaches. Individual sensitivity shouldn't be dismissed. What's particularly interesting is the recent research on metabolic effects. A 2022 study in Cell Metabolism found that aspartame consumption altered glucose metabolism even in healthy individuals without previous metabolic disorders. Although these changes were temporary, they raise questions about potential long-term effects. Several large observational studies have found associations between artificial sweetener consumption and increased risk of cardiovascular disease, including a 2023 study in PLOS medicine that followed over 100,000 adults. However, we should remember that these show correlation, not necessarily causation. The gut microbiome connection is perhaps where some of the most fascinating new research is happening. Studies in both animals and humans suggest aspartame may alter gut bacterial composition, potentially contributing to glucose intolerance and other metabolic changes, as highlighted in a 2021 review in Advances in Nutrition. Now, who needs to be particularly cautious? Individuals with phenylketonuria, PKU, must avoid aspartame entirely since they cannot metabolize phenylalanine. Pregnant women should moderate consumption, and recent research suggests caution during childhood development, though evidence is still evolving. Looking ahead, we need more long-term human studies examining metabolic effects and microbiome interactions. The challenge is designing studies that properly control for the many confounding variables in nutrition research. My takeaway for you today: while regulatory bodies consider aspartame safe at approved levels, moderation is wise with any food additive. If you experience unexplained symptoms, consider whether aspartame might be contributing. And perhaps most importantly, question why you're using artificial sweeteners in the first place. Could whole food alternatives satisfy your sweetness cravings? That's our deep dive on aspartame today. I'm Lindiwe, and this has been Healthy Living, produced by Larry Allen. Check out Live Well, a guide to healthy living by Larry Allen, available Waterstones. Next week, we'll explore the science behind intermittent fasting. Is it a health breakthrough or just another diet trend? Subscribe so you don't miss it.